everybody, this is Terry from Sweetpea Papers, the Sweetpea Papers Facebook group, the Junk Journal Tutorials and More Facebook group, and the Junk Journal and Paper Crafts Facebook group, and finally the Sweetpea Papers Ko-fi shop. Now, all of that information is going to be below, and it's going to be below the information you need for the Woodland Steampunk Spring event or collaboration, and all of that information that you're going to need to participate is going to be directly below the video or in the description box. I always say below the video because, well, the description box is located below the video. Just click the word more, it will open out and you'll see all that information. Okay, so now make sure that you use the hashtag a Woodland Steampunk Spring for anything that you do with this. I'm going to talk really quick about a couple of things, housekeeping things that you need to know. If you want to see the detailed information and the partial flip through of the kits, then make sure to go back to my introduction video, which was on the 23rd of April, 23rd of March, and at the Sweetpea Papers YouTube channel. Okay, so the first thing you want to know is that the links to get the kits that we're going to be working with and to get to all the places where you're going to enter into the drawings and where you're going to get your freebies and all that is going to be located below this window in the description box, and it's going to be a Linktree link. So when you see the Linktree link, you click on that and it opens up into a new web page, and it's got all the links that you need instead of us having to put them in the description box below the video. Now, so you'll have links to everything. So let me talk about that in just a second because I got out of order already. In the Woodland Steampunk Spring collaboration, week 1 we're going to do 7 ideas for signatures. There's 7 in the collaboration. Week 2 is going to be 7 ideas for embellishments. Week 3, or ephemera, either one or both. 7 ideas for journal covers and 7 ideas for binding and completing your journal. So week 1 is this week. Week 2 for me is next Monday. Week 3 is the Monday after that, and week 4 is the final Monday in April. This collab is an April collab, even though the first 2 days were the last 2 days of March. This is hosted by Crafty Dragon Creations and Kreativ Paper Artisan, and all of their links, of course, will be on the Linktree link. Now, the kits real quick. We went through them last week, so we're not going to do that again, but I am going to show you these, what are they called? Cover pages. I don't know why my paper's curled up, but they did. This is for Steampunk Forest, which is by Karin at Kreativ Paper Artisan. This is Steampunk Woodland by Crafty Dragon Creations, which is Stacy. And so you're going to have 2 kits to work with. If you purchase the kits at 30% off, then that link's below on the Linktree link. For the month of April of 2025, they're on sale. Now, each one of these kits is about 50 pages, give or take a few. And then you're going to have freebies that you're going to get from all of us. And yeah, so you're going to have quite a few pages. You're going to have close to 100 pages, I would say, by the time you get done. 80 to 100 pages, something like that. A lot of really cool steampunk forest and steampunk woodland creatures and images and things like that. So now, you want to get in the drawing, and how you get in the drawing is like so. And I wanted to make sure to go over this real quick because it has to do with this video and every other video in the collaboration. So for each of the channels of the collaboration, And those are listed below on the Linktree link. Remember, all of us will be listed there when you click on that link. Then you must subscribe to each of our channels. When you go to watch the videos, you have to watch each of the videos. So that's 28 videos, but it really works out to one a day. So that's not too bad at all. And if you subscribe to our channels, like each collaboration video that's posted, and you have to comment on each video, okay? And that's how you get your entry. You have to enter every single time. So every week you have to enter in all of the videos. We're going to keep track, and then if you've commented all the way through for all 4 weeks, then we let Karin and Stacy know, and that puts your name in the drawing. So it's easy. Just like, comment, subscribe for each of the videos, and you'll be in on the drawing. For an extra point, and you get your name in the drawing twice, post your finished journal pics at the Crafty Dragon Creations and the Creative Paper Artisan Facebook groups. They're not called exactly that. The links will be on the Linktree link. And you have to post those by April 30th of 2025. And you have to use the hashtag a Woodland Steampunk Spring in your post. Okay? All right. So that's it for that. Just a little quick housekeeping. Now today we're going to talk about putting together your signatures. Now, I don't know how many of you are current viewers of mine, but you guys, those of you who are, know that I have OCD, and so that's why everything has a place. There's a place for everything, and it makes me crazy if it's not there. So when I do the papers, I do them the same way. I've got them all trimmed. Don't even ask me how long that took. Around 2 days. So I guess you didn't even have to ask. I just told you. And so I have them all sorted, and I'm going to talk to you about how I sort them and why. These two, this page was a miscut. I cut it crooked. So I trimmed this piece down where the crooked side was, and then I had the other half of the page. Uh-oh, it's upside down. Can't leave it that way. And I'm going to use these two for cards or scraps or flips or, you know, something. What is that piece of tape? I keep trying to get it off of me and it will not go away. And then there's 2 sets of pages in this kit. There's the small pages and the larger pages, which are the quote-unquote normal size pages, your 8.5 by 11s, trimmed, so they're a little bit less, and folded in half, and that's these back here. So these are my smaller pages, and they're going to measure approximately, let's go a little bit more than 4 3/4, so 4 7/8 by 7 1/4. Okay, so they're a bit smaller than the others, and I really like these. The ephemera that comes with the kits is made pretty much, not all, but pretty much for the full-size pages. So when you do your little book, then you get the fun of making your pockets and all that good stuff, and that's pretty fun too. So I think I'm going to do one of each. I don't know if I'm going to get both of them done by the time the end of this collaboration is, but I'll get at least one done because I'll do it with you guys. I haven't decided which one. So the way I sort my papers, I have my page papers, so that's these for the little book. Boy, we're not going to have enough room, are we? Okay, so there's the big stack. And then there's these for the big book. They turned out really nice, pretty cool. And I've printed on the backs of all of them. When I fold it in half, then there will be pages on the other side, every other page will be printed on the back sheet. Some people double print. You know, they print one of these on the front and then maybe this one on the back and then put in a piece of coffee dyed paper. You can do that. There's lots of different things you can do. We'll talk about that in a minute, I guess. But for the way I sort them is the big page, the little page. Normally I would just have the book pages. Okay. Then I have these, which are beautiful, but they're pages that if you fold them in half, they don't make any sense. And if you cut them in half to make them a cover, some of them you can and some of them you can't. So let's take a look at my thinking here. This one would have to be a center page because you can't really cut it in half and have it make sense. And if you fold it in half in the book or the journal, it's not going to make sense either because you're only going to see a wing on one side and half of a bird on the other side. So that's not really going to work. So I would say this is a center page for a signature. The same with this one. Now you could get away with this one, putting it in the journal because the houses and the tree on one side, I didn't think about that, and the houses and the tree on the other side would still make sense. Okay? And this one is on one picture, but it's the same way. It can be folded in half. So these are all just your single page, large images, sort of backing papers, but large images. How is it I'm getting these upside down pages? This is just not like me, you guys. It really isn't. It's making me crazy. So that's what these are. Okay, these are going to be your large single image, usually papers. You can fussy cut out the center. Now this one, you could put in a journal, but this would be very close to the center, and this would, his face would be cut off when, you know, if you folded it in there. So this is another one that would make a good center page in a signature. This one is one single image, but I think if you cut it in half, I think you could, it would be ivy on one side with writing space and the owl on the other. So if you folded this in, I think it would be all right. But this is technically one of the single page images. This is another. Once again, you know, you could probably fold this in half in your journal and it would be okay. But the main effect is the two of them sitting together, and they're sitting together right in the center is right about there. Okay. On this one, obviously, center of the book, or this, sometimes these make good covers. It depends on if you're just going to cut this in half and put this half close to the edge to your spine and this half on the back close to your spine, then it can kind of look like it wraps around. You could, if you really wanted to be cool, you could put the center, which is the body, on the spine, you know, print out another copy and maybe 3 copies and just cut the heck out of them and put one wing on the front, one wing on the back, and the body on the spine. You could do that. That would be pretty cool. Probably should talk about that when we're doing covers, right? So once again, these are just images with large pictures in the center, and so I put all of those together in a pile, and I paper clip them together, and I leave them paper clipped like this while I'm working. I know, because it makes it easier for me. If I need to find a backing paper or something, the backing papers are all clipped together. Okay, now these are the writing pages. I'm pretty clear about what those are. Pages you can write on. Okay. Then we have our solid backing papers, even though that's not a solid, but you know what I mean. And the pattern, repeating pattern backing papers, like this one and this one too. Okay. And I haven't decided for sure. I think I might use walnut stain because vintage photo is going to be too light. Ground espresso I think would be too dark. Let's see. I wonder, I have all my browns right here. And my black soot. Brush corduroy's too light. Vintage photo's going to be too light. You know, might be interesting. Black soot might be interesting. Because it would make the images like kind of pop off the page. You know, like when you do the pockets and such. That's a thought. Now, that's a thought. And then walnut stain, ground espresso, either one of those would probably work. Gathered twigs is one shade darker than vintage photo. We might could get away with that and not go as dark as walnut stain. And then scorched timber is a nice grayish brown that would go with this really well, but I don't know if it's dark enough or not. So this is part of deciding about the signature. We can try it. We can always put a darker color over it if we don't like the way it goes, because I will be inking all the pages, but not on camera. Don't worry. Don't panic. So right now I've got gathered twigs and scorched timber set aside along with my iced tea. I'm not drinking coffee. It still has caffeine in it. Then we have the backing papers with the repetitive patterns that are definite repetitive patterns. And I think we only have 4. Now, believe it or not, with all these pages, it's possible you may have to print a page like this more than once. Or a page like this more than once, depending on what you want. Now, I did print on the backs of these. And I just randomly printed the backing papers on the back of the backing papers. Now, the trick to this, and the trick to getting these where everything is lined up, is to print the front, the regular page, the one you see in your computer that you're going to print. You print that with the border, with the white border around it, okay? Then when you put it back in the printer to print on the back, that's why I don't use double-sided printing, because I can't do my method when I do that. So I just take them out of the printer and put them right back in, which is what you do if you're printed double-sided with images too. You take them out and you put them right back in, and then they're right side up. What was I saying? Oh, you print the front side with the white border, and then you print the back side borderless. So whatever this backing paper is on here, I printed this with the border and cut it off. And then the paper that I printed on the back, well, no, I didn't cut it off first. I printed the paper and left it with the white border, put it back in the printer, and printed this on the back borderless. Now both of them look borderless now, because then I went back and cut the white off the edges. And that gives you this all the way to the edge. Okay, I got a dirty fingernail. What is going on? What's going on? Okay, and so that's how you get that done. So here we have our solid and our repeat pattern. Okay, so now what we're going to do now is we're going to think about putting together our signature, and there's a lot of pages here. So we're going to talk about the big one right now, I really want to do this little one though. Okay, let's talk about the little one. So now normally I keep the pages like this so I can grab them easier. And I usually keep the writing pages and the book pages on the top. Now, if we're going to talk about the little book, then we're going to set these to the side. And there's also cover images, but the cover images you get on the week that we do covers, so I'm not going to show them to you here. So, but they would be paper clipped in the pile as well, whether you use them that way or not. So you get this, and you have this, and then this whole thing would be turned. Kind of stinks being me sometimes, huh? But it's also helpful because look, there's your paper when you want it. I need a writing page. Boom. I need a center for a signature. Boom. You know what I mean? Okay. So, I've also got my metal out. And I've also got, you want to think about your trim and stuff as well. I've got my metal pieces for the Steampunk. I've got this ribbon for my Woodland. And then I've also got this vine, which is a ribbon. It's soft. You can get it on Temu, Temu.com, which everybody knows it by now. Very inexpensively, and I've got rolls and rolls of it. I put it around this cardboard because it comes rolled up in a roll. The paper clip is here to hold the end so I don't lose it. But as you can see, there we go. Okay, so I've got those, and then I'm going to think about what else I might want to use, but that's all I have out so far. Oh no, I have this out as well because I think that's cool and it looks kind of steampunky. This is, use this when you're putting up drywall. It's like the stuff you put the spackle on that holds between the two pieces of drywall. And that was gifted to me. I don't know by who or where, but I do know that I really like it, and I'm going to have to try to figure out how to get some more. Okay, so now we've got our pages, and we have a lot of pages. That's why my old workhorse silver paper clips are holding these together. So what you want to do is you have to figure out if you're going to use all of the pages. So you might want to go through here and look and see if there's pages you don't want to use, pages you definitely want to use, like that one. These are all so cool. I don't think there's anyone in here that I, you know, like absolutely didn't want to use as far as that goes. Because I thought these were very, very cool. I love the other ones too, but I kind of like the idea of these small ones, and I really love the birds. Okay, and I also have to think about how many signatures am I going to have if I'm going to use all the papers, how many signatures I'm going to have, and what papers am I going to use for the centers of the signature, because those are kind of special pages. They look good when you fold them out. We can't use the big papers that we've got that are made for that, so we're going to have to figure out what page we want. Now see, something like this owl is too awesomely cool, and the mushroom house is cool, but you wouldn't want this, I wouldn't want this as a center page. These are more similar, so they would look better to me as a signature center. Two, three, four, five. This is so we know when to make our signature, how many we need. Kind of like that. And I like that too. The only thing about this is the animals are both facing the same way in the center. This is just a cherry thing. Do you know what I mean? I love this. This would make a great center page. So we've got 3 up there. 1. Now these are very similar with the circles on either side and the little animals, and look. One's facing frontwards and one's facing sideways. That works even better in my brain. So that gives me 5 here. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 up there. Okay. 1, 2, 3. This would make an excellent center page. That's 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you're going to have to think about your cover and your back cover and your inside papers, inside covers as well. So you're going to want to think about those and set those papers aside as well when you're thinking about doing your signatures. Now I know we're going to talk about covers in 2 weeks, and you can always print the page again. There's nothing that says you can't. But I like to set aside the images that I want to use for the cover now. We're not going to do that because that's not the way the video series is going. I will probably do that off camera today and then just not show you again. You won't know. I wouldn't use this as a center because they're too different, and they just don't look like a center to me. Even though they're gorgeous, I love this. This is one of my favorite pages. 1, 2, 3. You know, this could be a center, and a reason I say that is you could put something down here like a word or decoration, and then something up here as well. So I think that would make a good center page. I think we've got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then this is going to start a pile that way. So we got another 5, 15, 20. Wow. This one's up. What is up with these being upside down? This would be an excellent center page. This would be an excellent center page. They even kind of go over into each other. So would this one. And so would this one and this one. So you can decide, whoopsie. how many signatures you want. So let's look at how many papers we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, two, three. Let me look through here. Now, I probably would not use this as a center page. However, I might use this. I really like both of those images a lot. Two, three, 4. 5. That gives us 25. 25, 26, 27, 28. 4 times 7 is 28. You could make, now this is 65-pound cardstock, so I'm not sure about putting 7 pages into a signature, and I'm not sure about making that big of a book or a journal. I don't usually, and I'm not sure that I could get one, you know, but could make the center section just a purely journal section, maybe. I don't know. I could do 3 signatures easy with this. The thing is that every other page is going to be blank. So you're either going to need to put something on it or be okay with leaving it as just a blank writing page, which is really hard for me to do. But this is divisible by 7, so you could make 4 7-page signatures and you would have a 4-signature book. And then you would start inking, deciding which pages go together, and then start folding them in half, and so on and so forth. So let's do, okay, let's say we're going to have a 4-signature book. Then what 4 pages do we want to use? Well, we've got 5. So all we need to do is decide, you know, this would make a really, these 2 would make really nice center pages as well. So with this one. So let's decide between these. Which would be center pages that we would like to use. Now, to tell you the truth, I like these, but I think I would want to break them up by putting them in the book, because I think it's a little too strong of a statement for them to be together. That's for me, just me. So we've got that one. Let's put that one there by itself. We've got this one and this one. Now these have smaller images. Like this one's nice and big. I really like that one. And I really like these little guys. So let's say for sure those 2. Then we need 2 more. We're going to have a 4-signature journal. And we don't want them to all be the same. You know what I mean? I think we use this one. And then, boy, I like that one. And that one's completely different than, so's this one. This one's really cool. So I think we're going to put this one in the no pile. And then we need one more. Right, so we have to decide between this 3, which one we're going to use as the 4th center page. Okay, so these are going to be our center pages. Keep them together with a gold paper clip, because there's not very many of them. See this big old yucky silver one? Those get put together in a pile with a magnet. The gold ones look better on camera, that's why. Please don't laugh. It's okay, you can laugh. I do, I laugh at myself. I'm really kind of drawn to this one because I can put gears on it easily for the center spread. I can put gears on this easily. I can make places for gears. I could put some down here and some up here as well. I could do that instead. Let's do this one. It's different than the others. I really like it. Alright, those are our 4 center pages. So we're going to start with these. And then we're going to should have left them in the 5s. Would have been easier to look through. See this right here? It makes me crazy. Alright, so we're going to take the center page of the signature and turn it over like so, because it's going to be on the bottom and your outside page is going to be on the top. Doing it this way with your center page like this, when you fold them in half, that means your front and your back page are going to be like this, unless you take a special page and print it front and back with these images, so that you've got a front and a back image and then an image when you open the book. Alright, so you'll need a double printed page. Me, I like to make flippy out thingies and all that for the front and the back page of the signatures. So I'm going to leave it this way, folded this way, because I have this page that I can build on. You're also going to want to think about, we can do 3 signatures, because we're going to need pages. How will I decide that? Because we'll need pages if we want to do any kind of flips or anything. We'll need pages to cut the pictures out of. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to do 3 signatures of 7. See, those 3 are different, very different. Okay, now these would look nice fussy cut out, wouldn't they? All right, so we've got our signatures. Let's do it this way. I'm going to put a paper clip on each one so we know which one we've decided on being the center. I know, a lot of paper clips. Look at my box. Yes, they're all faced the same way. Okay, So now we've got our 3 signatures. So let's do it this way. I'm thinking I want to cut those apart. I'm going to put them in the cut apart pile. These two seem to be a little bit different in style to me. So I'm going to set them in a little pile. The reason you can't see it is because I'm putting them on my paper trimmer. Sorry about that. I'm just running out of room. Like this one. So we got 1. And you have to think about which one do you want to be the signature cover as well. You can fold one backwards and then have 2 of these pages together. And then just decorate both of them. You can do that as well. You can fold one this way and fold it backwards. That would be kind of neat for a signature cover, wouldn't it? Okay, let's do that on one, and then this will be the back signature cover. And I do actually do this. I'm not just doing this because we're on camera. We are going to stop at an hour, but and I'll just set you free after that, and you guys will go free and think about what a crazy person I am. All right, so this is going to be a signature cover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this one backwards and use the outside of it as the signature cover on the center signature. So I want to fold with pick on outside. Then the rest of them I'll fold normally. Or the way I'm going to do. That way we'll have stuff on the front signature, the back signature, and then the middle signature will have this. Okay, so I think I'll do that. And then you can just start dividing up pages. I just like to look for the outside, the ones I like for the outside of the signatures, which is going to be the first page you see when you open it. I like this for that. So this is going to be a signature cover. Even though this is going to be the part you see. Oh, that's cool. We can make something really cool on that. And I am doing this when I'm just doing the signatures. I'm not going to do any decoration because I think that should be next week. Yeah, that's the center. This is the cover. It's the center and the cover. This one's really cool. Kind of goes with that, doesn't it? I kind of like this being the first and the last pages in the signature, so let's do that here. Okay, now I'm gonna start just putting random pieces together so that I have 7. I'm going to keep an eye out for what I want to use for my front and back cover, which I won't show you. It could be anything, you never know. Could even be one of these, not telling. So we need 3 signatures. So we're just going to go 1, 2, 3. Now remember, there's 2 pages here already, so we're just going to need 5 in each stack. Let's see if we can do it this way better. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to go back through this. I'm a little crazy. I'm going to go back through and think about what I would want for the never mind. I don't know what I was going to say. Oh, for the cutouts, for the little flip ups and stuff. So I might look at the ones that have smaller images. How did I end up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How did I end up so wrong? 3 times 7 is 21. And I set this aside to fussy cut. I should have 7 pages at the end, but I don't think I'm going to. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, just 1 more on each pile. I think I want to take these right here. I think I like this one better as a signature cover. And yeah, that one I'm going to switch out. And this is random right now. I'm going to go back through and figure out which ones I might want to use to cut up. I may go back and decide to only use 6 pages per signature, because that's going to be about the most I can fold in half. Now that I think about it, I'll have to do 6. So I'm going to have to take 1 out of each pile and yeah, and do that. So that's about as far as we can go. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to take 1 out of each pile so that we have the right number for our signatures, which is going to be 6 pages per signature. It's just not going to be possible to do 7, because that's just going to be too many pages. Now remember, you're going to have to ink all these. When you ink them, you're going to have to ink the edges front and back, then fold the paper in half. Go ahead and fold it in half, and then ink the edge outside, and then fold it around this way and ink it in here. Ink it as if it was a separate page, because it's going to be, when you fold this in, there's going to be pages in between, right? Only your center is going to be where you see both pages. So you need to ink them as if each thing was going to be its own separate page. It depends on how much you're going to ink them, if you're going to scruff it up or if you're just going to leave it, you know, clinical or whatever. Okay, so this is my signature cover. This is my signature center. And this is them paper clipped together. Okay, so there's 3. All right, so this has been 50 minutes. So I know I over-explained, but I just wanted to show you what I do, because when I'm off camera, you guys might think, oh, she does nothing. She throws some stuff together, 10 minutes, and then she makes a video. And no, I'm not that way. I'm not that way at all. It'll take me hours off camera, and then it'll be an hour on camera. Okay, so that's the way it is for me anyway, and then another hour or so for the editing and rendering. So if you want to think about it that way, I probably put at least a minimum of 3 and about, you know, and a maximum of about 5 hours work in for 1 hour of video. All right, so this is the beginning of my sorting. Then I'll go through, and I don't want the pages to be all the same. I don't want the signature to look like all the animal pages are in one signature. You know what I mean? It's going to be kind of hard, because there's lots of animals, there's lots of fairies and woodland people, houses, things like that. So you're just going to have to kind of randomly put them in there. I think actually the way I've got them is probably the way I'll keep them. Unless there's one that I feel like I want to fussy cut out. Is that one upside down, or is the top one upside down? This one's upside down. Yeah. So it's probably going to be pretty close to what I'm going to do anyway. Then when you fold them in half, let's just do a few. We're not going to ink them, but we're going to fold them. I'm going to fold them in half after you've inked them, but before you've inked the center, obviously. Now, I'm not going to use my bone folder on these, even though normally I do, because it's easier to, no, actually I am. All right, so you got 3, 4, and then 5 and 6. So let's just do these 4. And then we'll talk about creep, and then we'll be done. I don't know what's worse, having cold hands or trying to work with hand warmers on. These are pretty. They're pretty enough. I thought I could get away with wearing them on camera. Normally I take them off, but my hands are super cold today. And then I like to see the fact that we have a variety of backing papers as well. You want to look at that. You don't want them to all have the same backing paper throughout the whole signature. Unless you're going to do that in all 3 signatures. If you're going to do one with all pages that are blue on the back, you know, one signature, and one that's, you know what I'm getting at. So then you're going to use your bone folder. Now I'm using, like I said, 65-pound cardstock. I love this paper. It's by Neenah, N-E-E-N-A-H. And it's a vellum finish. V-E-L-L-U-M, just like the vellum paper or whatever, but not finish. F-I-N-I-S-H. And you can get 325 sheets instead of 250 for $13.99, I think, on Amazon. They have cream, black, and white with the, I know they have the cream and the white with the vellum finish. For some reason, I thought for sure I saw a black. So now we've got these. You can see where I folded that one a little crooked. And we put them together. And then you can already see where the creep is. What happens is the thickness of the paper, the thicker your paper is, the more creep you're going to have. Let me see where I'm at under the camera. Okay, now as you see, now there are going to be two more. The farther out you get, the farther away this point is from the point of the one in the center where it's folded. So the difference between those two you're going to see out here. It's going to look longer. And you can see already, you can see where these are different lengths, the center one being the longest. Now, some people cut the creep off and make everything even, but if you think about that for a minute, you'll realize it'll make your inside pages smaller. They won't be as wide as these pages. So I don't like to do that. I like to hide it, and sometimes I don't hide it. Because I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all. Usually you've got stuff on your pages, and that makes them fat, and it makes them all uneven anyway because of your decorations and your pockets and your flips and things like that that you put in it, if you put any in, and all that good stuff. So yeah, so that was all I wanted to cover with that. Remember with your inking, remember with your printing, with your border on the front and borderless on the back, and remember how you want to pick your signature covers and your signature centers, and then pick out your filling papers. Then when you're looking through these papers and these other papers that you've got, and even these maybe, you want to pick out which ones you want to be the front and the back cover, and either make a note of them and print them out twice, and so you can use the pages in the book. Me personally, I don't use the cover and the back cover in the book, except for the last journal I did called The Calligrapher's Garden. I had to reprint the pages out like 3 times to finish it because it ended up being kind of fat, and it was 2 signatures. And so the cover picture, the front and the back covers, ended up being the center signature in one of the signatures. I didn't realize it until it was done. So anyway, that's it for this video. And next week we're going to be talking about embellishing ephemera, you know, whatever. I think embellishing is probably more like lace and our cogs and stuff that we're going to be putting on. But I'm also going to try to make one ephemera piece as well, so that we can talk about how your ephemera works as an embellishment on your page as well. Okay? All right. I will see you next week on Monday, and I'm trying to publish my videos. I'm in Seattle, so I'm on Pacific time. So that means I'm 3 hours earlier than Central time. And I try to publish mine at about 2 or 3 in the morning, so that it's 5 or 6 in the morning for you guys on the East Coast. And that's really early for us over here, but then it's there when you get up. Okay? Now, figure that out for wherever you are in the world. I'm -8 Greenwich Mean Time, if you know all that and go that way. Or you can just look on the Google machine and have it tell you what time it would be here for you at your time there. And I hope I see you again next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment so you can get in on the drawing, because I want everybody to get in on the drawing and you can win. You can win junk journal kits from Kreativ Paper Artisan, and yes, I knew I was going to forget one of the two Crafty Dragon creations. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad. I'm sorry, Stacy. I'm sorry. Okay, all right, that's really it for this one, and I will see you next week. Okay, all right, bye-bye.